sun, sea, 3 times the salary, surfing after work. You'd have to be insane not to do it. So why? Why am I choosing not to go to the US? Let's get into it. What is up, guys? It's Sermed here from SMTV, and I've got my reasons for not chasing a career in the US. I know what you're all thinking. It's because you're Arab and Trump's in power. Haha. Old joke. I've done the first step of moving already, but when I went out there were just a few things that didn't feel quite right. And I'm going to go through at least 3 or 4 of them right now. I'd just like to say, I am not Jesus. I am a terrible person. This is an obvious one, guys, but it costs so much money for people in the US to engage with healthcare. Did you know that it's actually cheaper for someone to get a limousine to the hospital than an ambulance in the US? As a doctor, I don't know how I would feel about asking someone how they're going to pay before I try and pull a bullet out of their heart or lungs or something.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating slightly here. In an emergency situation, they would just treat you and slap you with a huge bill straight after.
Just doesn't feel right. And that's coming from someone like me. So it must be pretty wrong.
Every day you're suffering this moral injury, having to work in a system that is the matrix, and there's agents running it that have no interest for patients. They have interest for profit.
Reason number 2. Now, this is a bit more of a technical procedural difference, but if you think about the systems between the UK and the US, now you've got a socialist government-funded system, and then you've got a private system where you get paid if you're the healthcare provider for every visit that someone makes. So, if I'm the healthcare provider, what incentive do I have to reduce the number of visits that that person makes? The answer? 0. Because reducing the number of visits means reducing my profit. If I'm a socialist, government-funded healthcare system, all of a sudden, reductions in visits become very, very lucrative for me because I'm saving money on each intervention. Now that means that the population in the US ends up being more unhealthy because there's less focus on campaigns for healthy eating, for active lifestyles. And even in some places in the UK, you can get prescribed exercise classes from the healthcare system, which I think is fantastic. I'm not saying it's perfect, but the principles that it's founded on are quite favorable. Reason number 3. Now, because of the previous reasons that I've stated, the attitude and general feeling towards doctors in the US is completely trash. Over there, they are on par with estate agents and bankers in the UK. That's not where I want my professional status to be. In the UK, people still sometimes treat us like shit. Okay, sometimes, all the time. But they treat us like shit with love. And I wasn't feeling much love when I went to the US. It feels like the alternative medicine has that same love and compassion in the US that the normal medical field gets over here, because they're not taking your arm and your leg just to save your other arm. Or this is a fairly obvious one, guys, but you know, when you spend all your whole life somewhere, you know, there is this kind of sexy imagination, like, oh yeah, you know, what would my life be like on the other side? This whole grass is greener kind of thing. But the truth is that you spend a lot of time building friendships and relationships with people that you've grown up with. and that you've been around for such a long time. And as soon as you go somewhere as far away as the US, which is, who knows how many hours on the plane from the UK, you send all of that behind with you. And you really, really need to have a good reason to make that sacrifice, because it's going to take a long time to build up those relationships again from scratch with new people. Skype is good, but it's not that good. Now, there are loads and loads and loads of other reasons that I can mention here. Exams, barrier to entry, selection criteria, getting specialties that you wanted. But I just thought I would go for the main slap bang things that are on my heart when making that decision. And those were the main ones, guys. Let me know if you need any help deciding where to go, or if you need any advice on what the UK healthcare system is like, how to get in. If you need any advice on specialties, give me a shout, and I will be speaking to you guys later on. Have a fantastic day. I hope you don't kill anyone if you're working. I hope you don't kill anyone if you're not working. Just don't kill anyone, guys. It's not that hard. Alright, so like, share, subscribe, and peace out.